When you buy a used car, you check the history report. When you donate $500 because a telemarketer made you feel guilty about veterans, you check the logo, right? Right? You don't. Almost nobody does, but just let me explain. There is a public receipt for almost every nonprofit you've ever heard of. It's free, it's already filed, and the people asking for your money are counting on you never opening it. Let me be clear, I'm not telling you to stop giving, I'm telling you to stop giving blindly. Charity rating sites love overhead percentages. Only 10% goes to admin. That sounds clean. It's also very misleading. A charity can have low overhead and still be ineffective, or they route money to a different vendor owned by the founder's cousin. A legitimate nonprofit can spend more on admin because it's tiny, growing, or doing just really complicated work. Most people stop at one number, but that one number is not the whole story. Now, the GiveWell charity literally coined the term straw ratio for the percent to programs metric. They called it about as useful as an old shoe for finding effective charities. A disaster relief org can look efficient on a billboard and still be a telemarketing front. A hospital foundation can look bloated on paper and still be doing real work. The ratio is one line on a map. It's not the entire map itself. So the real job isn't scoring purity, it's following the actual money. The form has the lines that actually matter. You just have to scroll past the mission statement. Most tax-exempt organizations just filed the IRS Form 990 annually. You can pull it for free at the IRS Tax-Exempt Organization Search, ProPublica Nonprofit Explorer, or Candid. Yeah, the form is boring. That's exactly why it works as part of the filter. Scammers count on nobody scrolling past the mission statement to the schedules that actually matter. Check 1 is program spending versus anything else. That's part 9 on the form. But don't stop at one ratio, look at the trend over 3 years. If the program spending flatlines while fundraising explodes, ask yourself why. You're not looking for a magic percentage. You're looking for whether the money story matches what they told you on the phone. How about a real example of what you're hunting? A charity tells donors 90 cents on the dollar goes to the cause. Then Schedule G shows the telemarketer kept most of it. Part 9 and Schedule G tell different chapters of the same story. Check 2 is fundraising efficiency. That's Schedule G. Telemarketing firms often keep most of what they raise. Schedule G shows fees paid to professional fundraisers and amounts retained by the charity. If a caller says 90 cents on the dollar goes to help kids, Schedule G may say otherwise. Gross receipts go in one column, fees to the telemarketer go into the next. What's left for the charity goes into the last. The IRS literally labels those columns. Check 3 is executive pay. That's part 7 plus Schedule J. High pay isn't automatically grift. Hospitals pay real money, but a charity with $2 million in revenue paying its CEO $400,000 while program outcomes are vague is a red flag. Pay alone doesn't prove fraud. Pay plus vague programs plus a telemarketing heavy Schedule G is a pattern. Check 4 is related party transactions. That's Schedule L, the cousin test. Payments to businesses owned by board members or family. Legal if disclosed, but still worth asking whether the charity is buying real services or recycling donations to insiders. But this is where it gets interesting. Check 5 is revenue mix. That's part 8, grants, donations, government contracts, inventory sales. A disaster relief org with heavy telemarketing revenue and vague program detail is telling you its business model. Want another signal? Pull 3 years of filing. If fundraising revenue grows faster than program outcomes ever could, you're not looking at a charity anymore. You're looking at a call center with a tax exemption. Same playbook, different logo. The guilt script. Callers imply urgency, veterans, police, sick children. All of that lands before you see Schedule G's split. The star rating substitute. 4 stars on Charity Navigator without opening the primary document. Stars are a summary. The 990 is the actual source. The cousin vendor. Schedule L shows money flowing to a related business at above market rates. The name Confusion Game. Sound alike brands that trademark on goodwill for established organizations. If the name sounds familiar, that's kind of the point. And here's the part nobody talks about. This is what the bad looks like with real numbers. How about the National Vietnam Veterans Foundation? In 2014, the charity raised $8.6 million. According to CNN's analysis of the 990 and the New York Attorney General's settlement, $7.7 million went to fundraisers. That's roughly 89%. Less than 2% went to the actual veterans programs. The New York Attorney General dissolved the organization. The founder was banned from charitable assets. You want to know the wildest part? The pattern was already in the filing. Nobody needed a news crew. They needed 10 minutes and a PDF. You want another one? In 2021, the FTC and 38 states shut down Associated Community Services. It was a telefunding operation behind more than $1.3 billion in deceptive fundraising calls and over $110 million collected. Fundraisers kept as much as 90 cents for every dollar solicited. Some charities spent as little as 0.1% on stated causes. The New York Attorney General said the network made 72 million calls to New York alone. You don't need one famous name to learn the pattern, but when the government writes it down, believe them. Pull any veterans or police support organizations with heavy Schedule G telemarketing lines. Compare amount retained by organization to amount paid to fundraiser. So who's actually winning here? Well, telemarketing firms, founders with related party vendors, badge mills selling credibility, ribbons, and sound-alike names that trade on goodwill for real organizations. Who loses? Donors who thought they funded programs. Legitimate small nonprofits overshadowed by phone bank brands with better logos and worse Schedule G lines. Now, here's a few things that donors actually get wrong. They think that administrative costs are evil. Complexity does matter here. A tiny org doing hard work may need real administration. Schedule L matters more than a ratio on a billboard. They think that one bad headline means the whole sector is rotten to the core. Telemarketing grifts are a pattern. It's not every nonprofit. The 990 helps you sort which is which. If there's one thing I want you to take with you, it's this. If you can spend 4 minutes reading restaurant reviews, you can spend 10 minutes reading a 990 before a 4-figure donation. The form won't tell you if the mission is morally right, but it will tell you if the money flows match the commercial. Donating blindly isn't generosity. The receipt was free, you just never opened it. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it. See you in the next one.